Oh, they hate you. Oh, they hate you. Amazing. Oh, they hate you. Amazing. Okay. Oh, they hate you. Amazing. Oh, okay. Yeah. There we go. Oh, they hate you. Amazing. Oh, okay. Yeah. Testing, testing. There 1, 2, 3. Amazing. Oh, yeah. Testing, testing. There we go. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. We're just gonna give it a few minutes. Is that right? Okay. Definitely will need you guys to mute yourselves as I'm reviewing stuff. Yeah, there'll be time for comments and such. But anyway, I'm just trying to figure this thing out. What's up? Okay. Excuse me. Sorry. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh, the heck? Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Oh. Okay. Hopefully that helps a little bit with the audio levels, but one of the first people, and I'm always seeing John posting here, always got a new project going on, right? So, for this in particular, I suppose, it's, my mic is a little low. How's that sound? Okay, wonderful. Great. Nike Trail concept ads, okay? About the project, this is an unofficial project for Nike, which aims to design a series of visually captivating and engaging advertisements for Nike's trail running shoes that appeal to outdoor enthusiasts. The advertisements showcase the vibrant colors of the color wheel: red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, dark blue, purple, and pink, to create a sense of excitement and energy, right, and variety. The poster advertisements seamlessly incorporate brutalist-inspired aesthetic into their advertisements, resulting in strikingly modern and organized feel. The use of geometric shapes and stark contrasts creates a sense of visual impact that is sure to grab the attention of potential customers. Overall, the advertisements are a bold and stylish way to showcase Nike's trail running shoes, and they are sure to appeal to outdoor enthusiasts who are looking for a shoe that can keep up with their active lifestyles. Okay, activity outside, brutalist-inspired theme here. I'm expecting heaviness, but high energy, right? Outdoorness needs to be represented here. Not just a pedestal of the shoes being displayed as to like look nice and pretty in a glass cabinet, right? I want to see some actual outdoorsy images. So let's see if we see that. The concepts. Love the inclusion of this, by the way. Made with Photoshop and Illustrator. Okay. 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 I'll give my thoughts in just a moment. I'm just going through these. Okay. That's very nice. Wonderful. A little bit of Y2K here. Okay. In your brief, you talk about visual impact to potential customers utilizing geometric shapes that have a sense of excitement and energy, that is organized and modern. But you're wanting to appeal to outdoor enthusiasts, people who are active, people who are waking up at 6 a.m. to go on a run, right? I'm looking at these and I'm not feeling like a human touch to them. They're well organized, right? For example, this one here, the shoes are kind of flowing to the bottom, right? Deep blues. It's a fun concept on its own, well executed. It's well organized. It has a really great appeal to it, but is an outdoor enthusiast really going to look at this and say, oh yeah, I can go swimming with these? A better place to put this shoe is when you go hiking occasionally, you'll come across having to cross a stream going down the mountain. Having these enter that puddle and to continue on with that hike would have a much more visual impact in terms of what you want people to do with these, right? Right now, it's a fun concept, and that's all you can really say about it. I don't think it accomplishes exactly what you wanted it to do, and I feel similarly to the pink and purple as well. Like, Y2K is great, but it's also kind of a streetwear type of thing. Maybe for soccer moms, maybe for active men running through a bleak and gray street. You're the one bringing color to the road, right, as you're jogging around. It just appears to be on like a paper texture background. Mind you, it's still well executed. That's not what I'm critiquing here. I'm critiquing your vision and how this was executed, right? This looks great, but I'm looking at this and I'm kind of expecting like somebody to jump in through, jumping with like low gravity on the moon or something, right? That's what I'm expecting, right? This comes off to me as more of like a magazine cover than an advertisement. There's no call to action that's short and concise, right? At the bottom or somewhere saying "be boundless" would be your call to action here. They're making a true advertisement, but right now it just seems like a magazine cover. And it's same with these. I'm just thinking to myself, like, great, like Nike Trail is being displayed here. Great. But it's on a really nice background, but it doesn't really tell me anything about the trail. We are limited in our vision because we just have the program in front of us. But if there would be some way to put these shoes in nature on a hike, maybe somebody is stepping over a log, a tree fell down on the hiking trail and they're getting over it, right? They put their foot up on there, zoom in on that shot. It's attached to a limb. It's outdoor. It's outdoors, right? Tangy Trails Blazer. Shadow is here is like really, really intense. And it seems as though the road, when you get to right here, is a bit lower resolution. This one is better. I think out of all of the other ones that you've had here, are much better. Just because it shows more of an environment in which you can expect these. These are road running shoes, right? really playing with the visual identification here, like a trailblazer, somebody that's traveling, somebody that is paving their own path. You're showing a road here. Great. We're in the middle of nowhere too. That to me is fine, right? And this is kind of like the same concept. Again, something that is a repeat pattern here is that you say that these are advertisements, but there's no call to action. There's nothing that's like telling me to buy these. They're just kind of descriptions that you would find inside of like a magazine or a magazine cover, right? Showing off the new shoe with the new thing, right? They maintain the same style, and that's fine. I don't know. Run with red. Run where? It's kind of giving me the same vibes as here. Kind of like, where are we running? There's nothing here to run to. Is our target demographic people who are farmers? Or is it people who are in cityscapes that are jogging to the gym, that are waking up at 6 a.m. to go for a run, right? And the same thing here. Instead of desaturating your background, being in the middle of nowhere, play around with environments that are already kind of bleak looking like this. A cityscape. In all of these, I see no cities anywhere. And that's the target demographic of Nike, pretty much. Like, even in your mock-ups, you have these in, like, public areas where people are awaiting for the bus to get into the city. This is quite literally in a city. Go for Gold, right? Another public area, public transport. Another city area, another city area. Deep Blues. Okay, I'm in a city, like, it looks cool, but, like, great. And something that's a little bit more Y2K for these as well. And this doesn't quite fit the mock-up entirely either. So, that is a little bit of my synopsis there. I think that you had an idea of how these should look. But I also think that you disregarded a little bit of your own vision and the target demographic of who buys Nikes, right? People who buy Nikes, people who go to malls. Where are malls? Near or just outside of the city, right? Nike Juniper Trail, great, trail. I don't see any of these shoes on a hike or by dirt, by a stream that you would typically find on a trail. I have these very abstract concepts, being underwater, being in space, this kind of green texture, this gravel. I'm not quite sure what that is. It's good texture. I just think that the vision here is just not, it's not fully there. So I hope that you can kind of take that to heart a little bit. It is just my opinion, but there's not really a fault of execution here in terms of technical ability. It's more so understanding what your own vision is here. Because I feel like the backgrounds here, except for the Trailblazer, are a little bit not as well thought out, right? And of course, you want them to be different from each other, but I think you wanting the gold to be super different from the Trailblazer and being super different from the red kind of boxed yourself in creatively, which has prevented you from actually being able to target the correct demographic here. All right. In all honesty, though, the pink one, I would imagine seeing in a Nike store. It says play with pink, right? That's a call to action. That's great. power in purple, not really telling me to do anything, but it's just kind of a brand awareness thing. Then everything else is kind of brand awareness or a magazine, right? I don't know why there's a barcode on everything as well if you know that these are advertisements. Do you expect people to scan those? Right? I would challenge you, instead of using the barcodes, putting a QR code somewhere for people to scan so that they can buy this item online on the store. Because it is an advertisement. Your mock-ups literally show it out in public. Having a QR code there, let people give in to their impulses. But you need to have your call to actions there in order for that to be as effective as possible. Because at the end of the day, an advertisement, when you're creating it, is you're asking yourself what you want people to do with it after they've seen it. Do you want people to click? Do you want people to just know that there's a new shoe out with Nike? Or do you want people to buy? And all of those have different objectives that you need to stick with, right? Is this... But I think somebody in the chat wanted to make a comment as well. John Warosa. Yeah, and a lot of this, I think, also ties into John being more uncomfortable with getting out of his shell, because I can refer back to any of his work in the past and see similar themes that he's ran with, like these barcodes and stuff have always been involved with his work. And then but you kind of have to set that aside and ask yourself, what comes first in this hierarchy? Is it the theme that comes first, or is it the objective that comes first? And I'll tell you right now, it's the objective that comes first that then is going to tell you how the theme is going to bleed into the rest of the projects here, right? Because it seems like it ran with the theme and then kind of forgot it was an advertisement. You know what I mean? It felt like it was remembered here back with Play with Pink, right? That is reminiscent of like a traffic campaign that you would probably expect on Pinterest, right? Or even in the store itself, right? People come in, they see Play with Pink, new shoe, new color, great, fantastic, wonderful. But everything else, it's like just really large names, but it doesn't tell me why I should care, right? And even in brand awareness campaigns, like, even if I'm, and mind you, a brand awareness campaign doesn't typically have a call to action, but it still gives you reasons to care about it. And just visually looking at this, I'm not too terribly convinced that these are hitting the target demographic of people who go running at 6 a.m. or going on hikes before it gets to 100 degrees outside, right? Yeah. I mean, that's the problem with brutalist as well. Like, it's really hard to be a brutalist artist and bring that into advertising, because you almost have to treat every element in perfect balance. Nothing can take the reins more than the key focus at two things, really. The text here, the logo, three things: the text, logo, and then the shoes, the product, right? But if this is an advertisement, here at the bottom, everything is really well spaced out and balanced, but you need a call to action. How do you put a call to action that stands out from everything else if it is well balanced, right? So, it, I mean that's just the brutalist thing. Everything has really slim margins, um, but I mean, even go for gold, right? This is more gold and pink are more advertisements than anything else here. So, um, again, it's not there's not really in terms of technical ability, it's fantastic. Aside from just a few not so HD assets, but at the same time, like the thing with apparel companies and why they oftentimes advertise somebody using them, somebody wearing it, somebody utilizing the efficiency of the contour of the shape around your foot in commercials, is because that human element is what also gets people sold on saying, hey, you know what, maybe I should get one of these, right? And there's just no human element here. And I was hoping I would be pleasantly surprised by seeing some human elements, but I'm not. Everything is kind of under the same theme, and that's okay. That's just what I personally value with a product in general. Like, even if it's food items, if it's a gummy, show the gummy off, somebody holding it, not just by itself on a desk, but just somebody holding it, somebody applying makeup, not just showing the makeup. Um, show somebody wearing the clothes, right? No. Yeah, it just seems like a lot of these have backgrounds that are meant to aid the shoe rather than work with the shoe, if that makes sense. Like aiding the shoe exclusively rather than having a shared understanding of conveying a message. Like Boundless Blue, am I supposed to like, am I, you know, jump to the moon or something with these, or are these shoes waterproof with deep blues? Now, I mean, having the Nike logo showing up, I mean, it's one of the first things that you see, right? Whether it's on the product itself, but when it comes to advertising, the logo should absolutely be present somewhere. Um, so that's definitely not really a huge critique on my end. I just, when you think of advertisement, it's not really elaborated here what type of advertisement, right? Running shoe for outdoor enthusiasts, great, but at the same time, like, who are outdoor enthusiasts? People who go on trails, people who wake up at 6 a.m. to go run through their neighborhood and stay fit, right? And not a lot of these convey that message to me. So, but overall, good work, John. Um, again, execution, your styling of brutalism is fantastic. It's just, I think there was just a little bit of lapse in understanding what you actually wanted to do with these. So, um, anyway, next we have TDM, who's actually in the chat here. I'm just gonna go through this here. Insectrium, okay. Nuke Pod, Gallery, Geopod, Gallery, the Geopod Gallery, Motion Design Case Study, introduction, So, right off the bat, I mean, great animation. This is to introduce people to an app, right? Get the app today. You want people to download it. Where get the app today, but you don't show like what the UI or UX of the app actually looks like. If you want people to download something, they need to know what to expect. And I don't know what to expect upon watching this. Is it just like a gallery to look at bugs? Is that what it is? Is the app finished? Okay. When you show the app right here, even if it's fake, you either you or somebody else get together and make a fake UI. Like get the app today, even showing this off, having this flicker as it's supposed to. Do not have the phone come up until the next slide where the phone will then come up and then show like kind of your vision of how the app would be used. Scrolling through the gallery, scrolling up, scrolling to the side, right? Using like a little circle to indicate like where someone's touching to scroll through that, right? That would be, even if it's not pictures of actual insects and it's just using like assets like this and it's just images of scrolling through with like little fake descriptions underneath, that would still show me give me better expectations into what this is. So that's really kind of my only critique. Um, that mind you, a lot of motion designers make the mistake of doing when it involves a business that is asking them to do something either on their website or on an app. Show the app, show some form of it, even if it's not exact one-to-one. If it doesn't exist yet, create something fake. Communicate with whoever it is that is for this gallery. How do you envision this gallery working when people go into open up the app? Oh, people can scroll through. People can scroll through. People can click to see better descriptions. You can save. You can hoard or save images to your phone or to your own profile, right? And then just show what that looks like, right? Show what it looks like to save or heart or like a particular insect, right? And you kind of show it a little bit here, right? You have the nuke pod displayed here with arrows, a little bit of the name. Double down on that. Show other insects, maybe the nuke pod being the last one that comes up and then creates this transition, right? But that's kind of where those are my suggestions, at least. What is Geopod? Geopod's are essentially insects in a fictional word, and a fictional word based on the features of a hexapod. Okay. Futuristic glitchiness, great. Showing examples of this, colors, the glitchiness in motion, the textures, storyboard. Like even with this part, right? You could have it zoomed in more to where the phone is at the top here, filtering at like a magnifying glass, and have it perpetuate the idea that it's somebody scrolling through a scroll wheel of the different insects and saving them, and then saving them to their phone, which then tells you to get the app today, and then another miniature version of that occurring still. Right? The sound design, which I don't have a problem with. Yeah, no issue. Great. Thank you. Yeah. But you elaborate on what it is. I think it's just a matter of really of just understanding how, like, in the advertising business, really setting up expectations is important, because oftentimes you only get one chance to leave an impression on someone. If you showed somebody this ad and then you didn't have the funds to, or the client didn't have the funds to pay you again to then show off the UI and UX to retarget people who have already seen this advertisement, chances are, like, they're like, oh, this thing again. Right? You would have to spend more money retargeting people who should have clicked the first time, right? Assuming you're working under the adequate enough customer lists. So I like the way that you elaborate everything. Everything's laid out nicely. I know exactly what typeface it is, color palette, everything in miniature version to show off kind of what makes the theme the theme. But I am ranking you up for sure. There's no reason for you to have the newbie role anymore. People who are brand new to design wouldn't be able to elaborate on their ideas and animate things the way you have. So, good stuff. Next one on the list is Kenny Omega. Okay. Let's see. Nice and HD. It's very large. Holds resolution pretty well as you zoom in. Weak Man. Drugs have various effects on the human body and mind. Some drugs can indeed make a person weak physically, mentally, or emotionally. These effects can manifest in a range of symptoms. We got to follow some rules here, okay? Just because these larger elements do not have margins does not mean everything else in the piece needs not have any margins. You need margins. This seems like it feels like it. I almost feel like this is like running off the page, like it should be animated or something. This is a poster. We want people to be able to see what is being displayed here. In all honesty, the margins should start right here with this W. Have it come down and make a nice bounding box for everything else inside. Drugs can have various effects on the human body and mind, period. Particular drugs can make a person weak physically, mentally, and emotionally. These symptoms can manifest in a range. These effects can manifest in a range of symptoms. So, it's kind of worded strange. These drugs can manifest a range of symptoms. That's a better way to phrase it. List off the names maybe like a little bit faded in the background, have it like come across or something. Show off what those symptoms are. A range of symptoms. Okay, what symptoms am I looking at? Right, it's just a guy going like this with drugs here. I don't see a face. For all I know, this guy could be like laughing maniacally, having a good time. Right? Having a face to show that they're sad, they're suffering, they're not happy. Their family, their wife left them. Is that what that looks like? Or are you going to highlight the eyes, move the mouth, make the face sharp, really display the emotions of their face? You can't manifest regret like this very well. In fact, lately, a lot of anti-drug campaigns show regular old Joes, because that's the reality of it. Regular people addicted to opium, overprescribe their drugs, meth, whatever it may be. Regular people can be addicted to that. Being a drug addict isn't some nebulous thing. It can happen to anybody. Those are just the recent trends that I've seen, at least. But you want to display a level of fragility, that this could be someone that you love, or it's even you. When somebody's covering up their face, that's great for emotion, but when we're trying to convey weakness, we're trying to convey fragility, instability, being potentially poor or out of a job, this is not the messaging that I would suggest, personally. I don't know what weak man is supposed to do here. Because the thing with anti-drug things as well is that they are also designed to help try to inspire someone to take action in their life. If I'm passing by on this poster and I just see weak man and then someone going like this, I have no idea what that's about. For all I know, like, the syringe could be all about how I have low testosterone or something, and I need to get testosterone injections to lift my heavy weights again. You need your messaging to be more obvious, I guess. Right? I should not have to read this tiny ass text to understand that this is anti-drug. I squint my eyes, right? I see weak man. I see a person covering their face. I don't even immediately see a bag of powder or this larger syringe. Well, technically a lighter burnt spoon would be a better representation than what you've got here as well. Just saying. All right? You need more structure here. So, that's all I have to say about that. Next we have Bowtie. Bowtie is someone that's been around in the community for a while now. Always joining these types of things. Let's see what he's been doing. Mojos. I hope that's not somebody's actual phone number. Yeah, adding extra margins, extra structure, um, will help with that. I don't know what weak man is supposed to do. Like, if you're anti-drug, you want people to have the strength to overcome their addiction. Telling them that they're weak is not. That solidifies the idea of, like, oh damn, yeah, I am weak. That's why I keep shooting up. like, like saying it takes strength, and then showing somebody that is having regret in their eyes, but further, text below, it takes that leap, and it could be you or someone you love. Be that someone that seeks help, or for somebody else, right? That has a better message than what I'm reading here, right? In terms of structure. Kenny, if you'd like to hop in a VC sometime, and we can, I'd actually be happy to remake this with you to kind of show you a little bit less wordy version of what I'm trying to say. It's something that's a little bit more tangible in your eyes. So you might find that to be helpful. Just let me know if you're watching this back. Next is Ian, or also Bowtie. Last time we talked, we reviewed how this does not look like a... it's not loading. This does not look like a disc being thrown. Feels very discombobulated. Then we have mojos, which this is obviously the outline of a particular state. Cool. You set a rule for yourself when designing this. Great. Then mojos, welding, aluminum, steel, boat repair. I mean, this looks like something that's like from the 50s or 60s on the side of like a old, you know what I mean? It's only black and white, so there isn't really much personality about the quality of service that I could expect here, other than just a straight up like sign that I would expect out of the building itself. These also look like two different like the Joes look different for some reason. I don't really know what that's about. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is. Bowtie, I think you and I need to also hop in a VC sometime when you're available and when I'm available, to kind of go over your thought process for logo designing, because I'm failing to understand how you go from this to this. Nothing screams here to me anything about aluminum or steel, with it just being an outline of a state. In fact, it kind of looks like what is that fast food place? It's a burger joint that's all over California. But they have like this really like robust sign that is always pointing in the direction of the building itself. There's nothing wrong with having the state, or for some reason Illinois is coming up in my mind. I don't know why, but it might be Illinois. Mojo's great name. I just don't know the concept here. Like, we got 3 different fonts here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 different fonts in one thing. We go from 2 to 4. Maybe I think that this is different because the kerning on this is so much different. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, and Bowtie, I'm just a little confused, man. I'm not sure what this is for. Central Ozark Conference, established 1967. America, it's in the mountains, something like that. Ozark Mountains, great. Bold academic font, the same color scheme as the old logo. Stars for all 10 of the schools. Can be labeled east or west. Okay. It's very dark. There's these very stark red and blue colors, and then the inside is just this black. The mountains are okay. It's just I feel like the shape itself is very kind of cluttered and strict on itself for no reason. There's no symmetry here as well. It's just a very like soul-sucking design. Like there's no excitement from this that can be derived, and that's obviously the opposite of what you want when it comes to schools and sports and such. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, everything has a very sound structure here. It has a very established shape. Even with this, where it's shapeless, it still follows kind of like this curve. Let's see if I can find something like even with these as well, right? With this leftmost one right here, right? The mountains are kind of coming out as like it's hair on top of the name Mountain Park or whatever. But these areas still have structure in themselves that help them feel as an established entity. These are heavy because, in terms of visual hierarchy, you want the bottom, generally speaking, to be heavy to hold up the top, right? And there's obviously rules that you can bend around that, but for your sake, getting to again, Ian, why don't we hop in a VC sometime? Hop in my DMs and let's set up a time to really review how you design logos, because I want to see how you research things, how you do mood boarding, how you compare and contrast a school logo, which is this, with what we were just looking at, which is implemented black and white mountains, right? And what that could look like. Not taking or like stealing any techniques here from how those logos look. This is all just about vision and the ability to execute on that. So let's hop on a VC sometime. There's more problems here than what I can elaborate on with a stream. That goes down to the foundation, that goes down to your own design fundamentals, that goes down to just so much. So message me, please. We'll set up a time to talk and do a hands-on review with each other so I can show you kind of the best practices that you should be getting used to help get your ideas on paper better. So anyway, finally, we have Bold, who's here in chat with us, about project collection of thumbnails made to entice an audience and getting the highest CTR possible. Is that how you spell entice? Yeah, it is. Maybe the font makes it look weird. Okay, so obviously you gotta fix this here. Even it doesn't matter how good your thumbnails look if somebody sees that you're illiterate in this regard. Even though I know it's a mistake, but if people see that you're illiterate, they're not going to hire you. It boils down to a communication basis. Is this person pleasant to speak to? It's like the number one thing that you want people to know about you is that you're pleasant to speak to and work with because of that, right? The thumbnails themselves, great. It's kind of like a huge amalgamation of everything. These are two thumbnails I made for a content creator, and these thumbnails are performing really well because the CTR of the two thumbnails are 19% and 23.8% respectively. I would avoid using the words really well. Just say these two thumbnails are made for a content creator and they are performing well. The CTR on the leftmost one has achieved this CTR, and the one on the right has achieved this one. These two thumbnails are ones that I made for an esports team. There's a double space there. And the videos and thumbnails are performing exceptionally well, double space again, because the CTR is 22% and 23% respectively. Great. Wonderful. I appreciate you took my advice to really give numbers, but you need to be able to say why this thumbnail on the left or on the right got 23.8% versus the other one only getting 19. Because people reading that be like, okay, that's great. Pretty marginal. And same with this one, 22 and 23%. That's marginal. And to visually demonstrate, hey, put like a 22 under here or 23% here to just, tell people which one is performing best. How do they work? Vibrant colors, I use eye-catching and harmonious colors that instantly grab attention, making my thumbnail stand out. There's no need for a comma here. Good contrast. By carefully balancing colors, typography, and graphics, I ensure that each element is clear and easy to read, enhancing the thumbnail's overall appeal. I can tell I use ChatGPT with this one, but not the other ones. I play with intriguing visuals, leaving the viewer curious and eager to click, leading to increased engagement with the content. Okay, good. You're showing off. Probably you're not following your own rules with margins here. The margins I thought were established were a lot closer than that. Thanks for watching. Why is there an eyeball there? There's no need for that. Here's the problem. Nothing here that you've established really tells me why they should hire you versus somebody else that also knows how to spark curiosity, get good contrast, and understand which vibrant colors to use. I could put this on, and I have put this on, my own thumbnail presentations that I've sent people. The way that I personally have tried to differentiate myself is diving deeper into a breakdown of why this thumbnail was designed a certain way over another, down to the type of noise I used to bring on a certain texture versus another, right? A good balance of that into the next color to really highlight the element, to convey this emotion or that emotion. Even with this right here, there's a logo here in the top left, in the top right over here. How come you never mention anywhere the importance of branding your thumbnails to a content creator so it's easier recognized when people are scrolling by who have 2.5 seconds to actually click? You have good CTR here. Why did they get good CTR? Is it because you had good colors? Okay, there's a lot of people that can get good colors. Tell me about the relationship you've had with the esports team, how you've started from square one and how you now understand how to work with these people, how you communicate with them, so on and so forth. You don't want to leave somebody who might hire you up to their imagination on if they should hire you or not, or how, You don't want to leave it to their imagination on guessing how it is to work with you. Does that make sense? So this looks good. I don't think there's a need to have this many on here. Like, you have a good React thumbnail. Like, we have a good variety here, but a lot of them are kind of redundant, right? Like, we already reviewed these 2 thumbnails here. Why are they up here? We already reviewed these 2 thumbnails here. Why are they up here? Why is this one here? It's all about the messaging that you want to convey. Honestly, just choose like 6 to 8 thumbnails and stick with those. Elaborate into why they performed, or maybe even, this is something that's also important, show off the content creator that you've helped succeed. Show what their thumbnails used to look like and how you've gotten in and elevated them. That's one of the reasons why we did the before and after challenge, was so that you would be able to understand how to convey that type of messaging. Also, as far as thumbnails as well, like, if you are able to say that you're involved in the title, description, and the thumbnails, but you don't touch the video editing, elaborate on that as well. Even if it's not technically something that you touch all that often, you're still involved in the aspect of that title, because depending on what that title is, that's how the thumbnail is going to look in terms of complementing it, right? Thumbnailing is not just making things look nice. It's trend research, it's competitive research, it's understanding SEO for titles and descriptions, and understanding what the content creator is doing elsewhere, and paying attention to even as far as what has gotten the most intrigue from their audience. Let's say if they're live streaming, right, and you just pop in, and there's an event that happens in the on the stream, and everybody's like hyped for it or upset about it, and then you hop into a chat with them later privately about the next video, and it includes that little clip, but you're not focusing on it despite the emotion that came forward from that. They want to focus on something else. You as a thumbnail artist should say, hey, you know what? This was actually a good moment in your stream. I think if we focus the title and the thumbnail around that moment, it's going to yield better results. You should be able to have those conversations. Unfortunately, thumbnailing is not very lucrative unless you're with a multi-million subscriber content creator that wants you to do that for them. Make no mistake, thumbnailing is not just about doing what you're told by the creator. They're still hiring you to do what's best for them. So, I know you're in chat right now. You might want to say some stuff, but go on if you're here. Why do you need anything there? Why do you need anything there? It's unbalanced because you don't have any margins set here. I mean, even right here, like good is up here, but curiosity is like nearly out of bounds. You would not feel that emptiness if you followed your own rules of establishing your margins within your project. I don't care, bro. You knowingly know what good design is, and you're letting something hold you back. All right. It's going to take you extra time given your circumstances, but it doesn't matter if somebody comes here and sees that this is not as well put together as you could do if you spent an extra hour to fix it up. You may have just lost a client. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. Spend that extra hour to make sure everything is as concise as it can be. I understand, based off of what you've told me, the predicament that you're in. I'm telling you that that pressure is going to create diamonds out of you. But if you don't, then you're just going to be left with coal. So that's my 2 cents on that, man. Spend the extra hour to make sure everything is as good as it should be. Because guess what? What you've just explained to me as to why it wasn't... what you've just explained to me is why someone shouldn't hire you. Is because of the limitations you have. Why are you defending your weaknesses? If somebody wants to hire you, they expect you to defend your strengths. Do you understand? I'm just going to assume you do. I'm pretty sure he does, yeah. So there is I know it's a hindrance versus me having a fully built out computer with 2 monitors and a keyboard and a mouse, right? Obviously 2 different workflows. But yeah. It's you got to roll with the punches, man. Pressure does create diamonds, and sometimes you got to be the one that puts the pressure on yourself in order to do great things, right? It just pains me, Bold, that you know what good design is, but you're letting the shortcomings take over. You know that you can be hired to do these things. You have and you continue to get hired for them. You want to elevate that further, yet you keep defending the weaknesses that you have. That is not how you get clients. It is not. I'm not saying keep it to yourself, right? That's what Designly is for, to be able to vent these frustrations and look for help and not be so alone in this world of designing. But from a mentality standpoint, you need to stop defending your weaknesses. So, replay that. Oh my God. Bro. Did you hear everything I was saying? Oh my God. All right, bro. I'm gonna need you to rewatch that end part of the stream then, because I went on a huge tangent. I'm not gonna repeat myself again off that. So I'm gonna just have you rewatch that last part because it's really important. Okay. But I mean, most. Let's not forget where you started, though, man. You've started before with just having like a few of these things here, nothing else. You've been adding to this project over time to make it more robust, more sellable, more excuse me, more about your strengths, right? I do not want to hear you in VC when you refer to client work or your projects that you are limited in some way, despite you knowing what good design is. Do you know how bad it's going to sound for if a typo occurred or something for a client fell short because of something that you could have spent 15 extra minutes on to make sure it didn't happen the way it did? Like, you know what good design is. Your circumstances, unfortunately, they do demand that you spend more time on it to make sure that it's as good as it should be. A client does not want to hear you defend your weaknesses. That's kind of the general gist of the rant. No ands, ifs, or buts. So, anyway. Really good batch of work from the community. Love seeing people experiment into different areas and evolve their current projects into something more. There are a few people here that would benefit from hopping in VC with me, DMing me, and talking things over about your design process. There's just simply not enough that I can explain in a single stream without you being here. If you're rewatching this back expecting answers, I'm not going to be able to give it to you unless we're hopping in VC together, opening up projects together, comparing and contrasting best practices for workflow, because we got to make sure that this foundation is good enough to even have a workflow on top of it to begin with. So that's what I have to say about that. But that's all the work that was submitted for this week. Good stuff, you guys. Yeah. It's a work in progress. I think there's other things that I would suggest to Bold that he focus on more than elaborating on which thumbnail performed better. Honestly, I would love to see what this esports team's graphics looked like before you joined the team, and being able to kind of do a compare and contrast that way instead. That's going to show some weight. That's going to show that you are valuable to the team and that you're still working with them, right? So oh no. Sorry. That's not much. No, I'm currently waiting for a paycheck as well. It's not fun. Hold him accountable, Bold. Send him an invoice. There's some free, even with PayPal. PayPal has the option to create invoices. Create that invoice, send it my way, send it their way. Don't send it to me. I'm not gonna fulfill it. Send it to them, and say, hey, look, I'm expecting this to be fulfilled by next Wednesday. If I don't hear back, I'll be bugging you again to make sure that this is fulfilled. Thank you. This is business, man. This is business. There's no room to be all like cushy like a pillow. You are owed money. Send them the invoice. Couple that with the message. Hey, here's that invoice that I promised. I would like this to be fulfilled by next Wednesday. Please let me know if you have any questions or concerns. I will be following up with you on Thursday if I do not receive payment by then. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm telling you how you should be messaging them about getting paid. Create the invoice, copy and paste the invoice into DMs. Enter, or shift, enter, create space. Here's the invoice link that I'd like to have fulfilled by Wednesday. If you have any questions and concerns, feel free to shoot them my way. Otherwise, expect to hear back from me on Thursday if that doesn't get fulfilled. Have a good weekend. Okay, man. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for tonight. I appreciate you guys and some stragglers coming in saying hi. TDM, I would love to at some point work with you in regards to your workflow and for animation, because that's something that I would like to refine myself. Like I do animation, as you've seen in the server, in terms of like the emotes and stuff. So, if there's something that you're doing better that I don't know about, I want to know about it. So, I am still live. That is correct, Bold. But I'm about to end things off. I'm gonna go eat and or make dinner. So, I think there's gonna be a big announcement tonight, just because I haven't sent one in about a week. So, so look forward to that. Oh my goodness, yes. Oh my God, hold on, extending it. Hold on. No, you're totally right. Oh my God. Okay. Thank you for holding me to that. So, this one was submitted by River. Irrevocable motherfucker. Irrevocable motherfucker. Yep. Your fucked up way of saying I miss you. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. I might have to private the VOD if I do this. So I'm going to be doing this part exclusively in the Discord server. So if you'd like to get more advice from me or others within the server, honest critique, if you don't want to feel so alone in your design process, I would love to work with you guys. Those rewatching things, hit me up. I don't bite. I want to see you guys succeed. So you guys have a good night, and I will see you in the server.